It's your girl, Rochelle, Madam Big Age Energy, and I'm here with another. Let me tell you something, babe. Listen, let me tell you, I was over in beautiful London, and in London, you travel by train. So I'm hopping train after train after train, and every time I get on the train, I hear the same polite British voice that comes over the speaker, and it says, "Mind the gap, please. Mind the gap, please." Now, of course, they're talking about that little space between the train and the platform. You know, safety first, right? But I heard it so many times that I started to think to myself, you know what? That's not just a train warning. That's a life warning. How many of us are not minding the gaps of our lives? I'm talking about the emotional gaps between you and your spouse, or the spiritual gap between where you are and where you know God is calling you to be. The communication gap with your children, or that silent growing gap between the life you have and the life you want. See, the gaps don't just show up overnight. They widen slowly, especially when we don't pay attention. It starts when you stop asking real questions, when you start making assumptions, when life gets loud and you stop leaning in. Next thing you know, that little space has become this huge gap. And if you aren't careful, you're gonna fall right through. You're gonna fall into resentment, fall into isolation, fall into going through the motions while feeling empty inside. That's why I'm here today, to remind you, mind that gap. Let me tell you a quick story. A woman told me once, "I realized my husband and I were drifting apart when dinner got quiet." We've all seen it. Not mad, not arguing, just quiet. She said they still sat at the same table, still ate the same food, but that spark, that laughter, that check-in was gone. They started eating in silence, scrolling on the phones, commenting on the weather, but neither of them said what they really were feeling. "I miss you. I'm scared we're losing us. I don't know how to reach you anymore." And the saddest part, neither one of them meant to create this gap. It just happened, like most gaps do. But you know what she said? One night, I put my fork down, looked him in the eye, and said, "We don't talk anymore, and I miss you." It cracked something open. They cried, they talked, and baby, they started rebuilding, because awareness is the first step to closing the gap. So listen, here's the good news. Gaps can be closed. Bridges can be built, but baby, they don't build themselves. You gotta show up, you gotta check in, you gotta say the thing, feel the feeling, ask the question. Now, it might feel awkward, it might feel overdue, but closing the gap is always worth it. Call your mama, ask your husband how he's really doing. Look your child in the eye and say, "Talk to me." Get quiet enough to hear God say, "I've been waiting on you." Because babe, that distance, it can be deadly, but awareness, that's your power. So next time you hear, don't just think about trains, think about your people, think about your heart, think about your peace, your dreams, your purpose. Because the truth is, some of us been riding through life with too many unchecked gaps, and I don't want you falling through them anymore. Not today. Here's my words of affirmation for you. I am present. I am connected. I am building bridges. I mind the gaps in my life with love, truth, and courage. This is another episode of Let Me Tell You Something, babe. I'm Rochelle, and I'll talk to you next time. Until then, mind the gap.